Alrighty then. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and fast forward to the 90-second mark where the show will begin in earnest. Let's rock and roll. What's up, Mr. Rich? You are live, I can tell. Oh man, I'm excited. We have 49 hours until opening night. Yo. What's up, Crispy? What is going on? Sup, Sun Squared? Oh, wait. Squared, Sun Spread. My bad. Sup, Sun Spread? Let's go. Sup, Bro Montana? What's up? Peace to you. Rock and roll. We'll start in exactly 45 seconds. Don't we have to cut 2 more players? No, only 3 total. I had to go from 18 to 15. And then 2 can be two-way players. So just 1 more, and that'll be Devin Reed. Why do we still have Cannon? I don't know. I actually would have preferred Shaq Harrison. However, I think the reason Cannon is there is because he's been a starter on a winning team before. You know, he played with the Chicago Bulls. I'd rather have Shaq too because of defense. Rise of the sun, baby. Let's rock and roll. We will start in 11 seconds, 10 seconds. I don't do a countdown, but just you can guess. And I don't even know. Do you guys see the clock the way I do? I see a clock. I don't know if you guys do. So, that said, welcome to Valley of the Suns Live, the weekly edition. My name is Adam Maines. I'm your host. I'm your site editor. I'm a friend of the Sun. And today was cut day. The Suns cut their roster from 18 to 15. We now have a basketball game coming up. And again, I think, what time is the first game? 7 o'clock on Wednesday? Or 7:30? So I think we're like 49, maybe 49 and a half hours away from our first regular season. Okay, 49 and 1/2 hours away from our first regular season basketball. What is up, brother? So today, you know, the big news being twofold. One is the Phoenix Suns have officially signed Jamal Crawford. Some speculate that this is going to be brought in as a point guard. I don't think so. Not like specifically. He's really never, played point guard consistently. He's only played shooting guard for the most part in his career, but he can distribute the ball. But that also means, though, that the players that they have on the roster in the backcourt outside of Shaq Harrison will now become the kind of regular, consistent role players. That said, I still think that Devin Booker is the starting point guard. I guess we won't know unless Igor Kokoskov makes some sort of public announcement, which he might not until the day of. And certainly that announcement might be his, starting lineup that the Phoenix Suns tweet out, about half an hour before the tip-off. So we might not even know until 7 o'clock who's the starting point guard. So why Jamal, though? Okay, so let's get into that. Let's start with Jamal Crawford. By the way, we are now 3 minutes in, or a minute and a half in, so go ahead and please heart, please like, please retweet. We are live every Monday night at 6 p.m. on Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube. So come and join us. Text all your friends right now. We're going for 1 hour. I usually go double OT, but that is up to you guys. So why Jamal Crawford? I think Crawford plays into Igor Kokoskov's what is up over there on YouTube. Let me actually, if you guys won't allow me to do one thing, I just need to make YouTube brighter. I'm having a hard time reading the comments. There we go. All right, so YouTube is now bright. I think the reason that Jamal Crawford is here, is on this roster, and will be for at least one season, is because he can shoot threes. Now, he only shot about 33% last year, but that's not, that's not terrible. And the thing about it is that it's a lot better than Josh Jackson. It's a lot better than T.J. Warren. It's a lot better than what Marquise Chris could do. And so he has averaged 35% in his career, and he can, 4-point king, sticks his leg out, gets those fouls. And, he has shot near 40%. In fact, I think he did shoot 40% from 3 in one season. I'd have to go back. I don't have his stats, but I should. Let me get them up. The point, though, is I know for a fact that he is a 35% career 3-point shooter. That's not bad. Igor Kokoskov, too, said that he wants to shoot 33s a game. His career high is 38.2. Okay, so that was a while ago. It was 2009, 2010 at Atlanta. He shot 38.2% from 3. But still, I mean, that is way better than what the Suns have in many of their options and what they can do. So I really believe that's why. He can hold the ball. Maybe he can act as a backup point guard / shooting guard in a 2-guard backcourt with he and Isaiah Cannon. But most importantly, he can shoot threes. He can still cross over people too, ankle breaker king. Does he even get old? I sure hope he doesn't get old until after the season. Once he drops 30 off the bench, all the bandwagon Crawford fans will be crawling. And you know what? Bring it on, brother. I really hope that happens because they need it to happen. They're going to need bench scoring, and they're going to need three-point shooting. And anybody that said, he's coming to be the starting point guard, I just call BS. He has not been a regular point guard since 2011, 2012. And according to Basketball Reference, he's only been the point guard 3.5 seasons in his career. 4.5 seasons, and the first 3 were his first 3 years in the league. So I don't think that he's coming in to play point guard. I think he's coming in because he can carry the ball, but he'll be on a tube guard representing South Florida and Utah. Rock and roll. On YouTube. I said 2 states. Rock and roll, that's awesome. He becomes a trade piece mid-season. Maybe. What are you going to get from a second-round pick? I doubt it. I doubt he becomes a trade piece. I think he's here because they want to shoot a lot of threes and they want to try to win. Boy, if Cannon starts, I'd be surprised. But again, unless you see something on Twitter that I haven't seen, I don't think we'll know that until literally half an hour before the game starts. I've heard the Suns are trading for LeBron James. Boy, if they do, that'd be really cool. Bender should have been cut today. I actually thought that Bender would be cut, and I advocated for it 2 weeks ago. So who got cut? Darrell Arthur, Shaq Harrison so far, and then Davin Reed will be cut tomorrow when they sign Jamal Crawford. So they'll keep Davin Reed on the roster, which actually, it does surprise me that Reed was, it doesn't surprise me. I put him at 50-50, but I kind of leaned on the 50% that he would stay. But in case Jamal Crawford gets in a really bad car accident tonight, and, knock on wood, obviously, God forbid, but they'll have Davin Reed on the roster then. So just presuming that Crawford signs, or, he gets cold feet and he goes, wait a second, I could play for San Antonio? Never mind, and they'll have Davin Reed. So Reed is expected to be the third cut. Was there a chance to make a trade? So they were speculating today. I say they, as in like Burns and Gamble were speculating that Davin Reed could be traded. And of course, maybe, the Suns knowing they're going to cut Davin Reed, they might have called a couple of teams and said, yo, throw a second-round pick our way. And those teams, they're all finalizing their rosters too. And maybe they're going, well, that means that you're going to drop him, so we'll save that second-round pick and then give him a shot, So that's all. I doubt that there's really anything big on the verge of happening. Reed ain't good. He's the new Archie Goodwin. Plays good in summer league than trash in regular season. Could be. But that's obviously what the Suns are kind of thinking. What would it take to get Scary Terry? Probably more than the Suns have to offer, because I just don't believe that Boston wants to move him. And I think that's the key. The Celtics are in championship mode, so why trade a guy, no rookie extension for 0, according to Woj? Save the money, and save the money until you need it, because who knows what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving. Will the Suns go after D'Angelo Russell in the summer since he can't sign an extension? Or since he didn't sign an extension? Well, he'll still be a restricted free agent, so he wouldn't be unrestricted if my math is correct. Celtics ain't going to match if we offer 20, but do you want to offer him $20 million? I don't think so. Still have no quality point guard? Devin Booker. YouTube, I saw 2 comments, but boy, do they disappear very quickly. YouTube, if you've sent me a comment in the last minute, send it again. I'm going to look specifically for it. They'll listen for nothing. So, I really don't think the Suns are going to offer $20 million to Terry Rozier. I mean, I don't think they're going to offer $20 million to anybody who's never going to score average 20 points a game. And the truth of the matter is they don't necessarily need to. But again, I know it's kind of, teased about this last week when somebody commented, Mains can't ever go through an entire episode and not mention Devin Booker at point guard. Who the hell else are you going to play? And right now, I think it's Devin Booker. What do you think our best option is? Devin Booker. We gave Razor $15 million for 1 year. It was 1 year because this coming summer he'll be an unrestricted free agent. That money's off the books. Jamal Crawford's money is off the books. Tyson Chandler's money is off the books, and they'll have cap space to go after a star via free agency or trade. But it doesn't necessarily mean throw $20 million to fill a position. You spend that money on guys that you know are going to make the team better. So much for the number 4 and 8 picks from this draft. Well, that was the 2016 draft, yeah. Plus, don't forget Tyler Ulis at 31. He was first-round pick value. Sarver will give him $25 million. I don't know. Rozier, next Reggie Jackson? I'm not sure. Don't we have a team option on Anderson this year, and can't we decline it for more cap? No, it's not a team option. I can pull it up. What he did is he restructured, so he's only $15 million next year. But he, I think, would be a good trade piece. Talking about Ryan Anderson, because of his contract, especially if he has a decent year this year. He obviously was not too effective at the end of the season last year, and his playoffs, he looked terrible. They could also stretch it. I don't know if they want to go in that route. I think I'd rather next year kind of keep that $15 million on the roster. But regardless, it's just me. I'd feel, I wouldn't. This team needs to improve, and I don't want to lob off a chunk of the salary cap, every year for 3 or 4 years. I guess it'd be 2 years. Devin Booker should never have to be thought of as a point guard. What a joke we've become makes me sad. Why not, though? Why shouldn't it be thought of? I mean, was James Harden a point guard in Houston, 2 years ago? Yeah, but he's a shooting guard at heart. He's a small forward even. Probably more shooting guard, but still, I mean, he's a big... He still averaged 11 assists in that system. Why can't Devin Booker do the same thing? Maybe not average 11, but why not 7 or 8? It's more than Eric Bledsoe, a point guard, ever averaged. It's more than Goran Dragic, a point guard, although he truly is a point guard, has ever averaged. Great here, Josh Jackson stating he wants to win Most Improved. In order for Josh Jackson to do that, that boy has got to hit some threes. He was absolutely terrible. If Booker is equal to Harden, then he can play point guard. Why is somebody talking about Mikal Bridges? He's in no photos from meaning we gave up a lot for him. Well, it's because the regular season hasn't started and he had a poor preseason. So you don't really want to hype up a guy that, like, wow, he didn't look like he fit in during the preseason. But they'll get there. He needs time. Do I think Josh will be the starting shooting guard? If Devin Booker is at point, yeah, I think Josh Jackson's at shooting guard, but he's got to be able to hit threes. He can sure take them, but he can't hit them. Real quick, we are 10 minutes in, so go ahead and please heart, please like, please retweet. Let everybody know. Text all your friends, Phoenix Suns friends, and say, hey, join us in Valley of the Suns live. We're going until 7 o'clock. And I'm sorry, I'd have to explain my setup, but anyway, I get messages on my phone, and text messages just sit there. And so I'm like, get rid of them. Go ahead. Bridges has been hurt through preseason elbow too. Yeah, so he's got that, but again, why like hype up a guy that didn't look all that great? Regardless, I mean, injuries aside, I mean, he's still... That's kind of bit them with Dragon Bender and Marquise Chris, too. So let's just let him take his time. There are other 18-plus year vets out there we can get. I'm sure there are. Who would you like? Shoot me a name, and I'm happy to discuss it. Really wish we didn't trade for Mikal Bridges. Now, well, I mean, again, we'll see. Here's the other thing, too, is that eventually Josh Jackson or T.J. Warren are likely to be traded, one or the other. And so if they are, now you've got Mikal Bridges, especially if he does prove to be a good player, you've got Mikal Bridges to be that backup shooting guard and on a rookie contract for 4 years. Let's get Shannon Brown back. There's a name. Do I believe Eric Bledsoe is good or overrated? I think he's overrated. I think he's good. He's just an overrated good. He's never going to be great. He's never going to be. If the dude can't average 7 assists a game, that just drives me nuts as a point guard. So anyway, I'd like to go back to Jamal Crawford. Shoot any comments you want. I'll hit on everything. But I mean, going back to Crawford, I do think I was actually for the signing from the beginning. As soon as I heard his name, I thought of two things. First off, I thought of his backup shooting guard, depth, and I thought of his ability to shoot threes. Hedo Turkoglu, exactly. Is Anderson starting? I actually think he will be. Bledsoe didn't deserve the big contract. Oh, no, he didn't. Neither did Brandon Knight. But how many minutes per game should Crawford get? I'd say probably about 15 is what he will get. What other names James Jones moved do you speculate him making Crawford so far? At this moment, I don't really foresee a whole lot happening big. Like, the roster is now set. As soon as Crawford has signed and as soon as Davin Reed is waived, the roster's set. They've got their 15. One more player has to be moved to a two-way, but other than that, they're set. And so this is a deep roster in all intents and purposes in terms of it is now veteran laden. I'd like to point out, though, that it was veteran laden 4 years ago when they won 38 games, if I recall correctly. Let me pull up their franchise. I believe it was 4 years ago they won 38 games. They weren't all that young. They were just like a roster full of role players, including Goran Dragic. But it did them no good. It did them no good. Obviously, winning 38 games for Devin Booker would be good. Winning 38 games for Ayton would be good. Winning 38 games for T.J. Warren would be good because those guys have really never won anything. And so it just kind of gets them there. I don't know if the Suns are actually going to win 38 games. We'll see. Reed may be getting traded. Any more info on that? I don't think you will be because I don't think a team's going to... All they're going to offer is a second-round pick and... Do I think the roster is good enough to attract a point guard free agency? If Devin Booker continues to grow, DeAndre, I know Ayton, but I was trying to get his first name out. If DeAndre Ayton proves to be like a rookie of the year, like this dude's going to be stud, then yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a roster worth free agents looking at. But your question of is it going to be a roster that a point guard would look at, what point guards are available next year? I think I looked and there really isn't any. When is Booker supposed to return? Devin Booker is expected to return on opening night. He's expected to be starting. Is Josh Jackson the long-term plan? I would assume so, but again, he's got to hit threes. If he can't, this is 2018-19. You got to be able to hit some threes. KD, if you want to come to Phoenix, he would be kind of the one like true super. He's the only true superstar that's a free agent. So, can Ayton average 18 and 9? Yeah, I think he can. I'm not quite sure he'll average 18. I did speculate, or I did predict a month ago that he's going to average a double-double. He'll be the first Phoenix Suns rookie to ever average a double-double. Rex Chapman for shooting coach. You know what? That would be cool because I know he actually still is a local guy. I actually wish that they could throw some money at Steve Nash and say, dude, can you be a shooting coach? First off, be connected the past to the present. It'd be Steve Nash. But the problem is he wants to stay in San Francisco and do his movie thing. So, are you up on bringing in Terry Rozier? I mean, I am, but not for $20 million. He's not a double-double guy. Like, if I'm offering $20 million to a point guard, I want to see somebody average more than 5-6 assists. And the other thing is, if I recall correctly, somebody, correct me if I'm wrong, as my computer just crashed. Thank you, Basketball Reference, for being the worst. It's not the worst. I love it. I'm on it 12 times a day, but for whatever reason, so is my computer now. Let me reset it and I'll fix it. If I recall correctly, Terry Rozier is like an absolutely horrible shooter from three. Like, he's the worst shooter in the last 20 years. Am I thinking of the right guy? I might be mistaken. It's been 3 months since I thought of that, but... will Cal Bridges just be playing small forward or shooting guard? I think it's going to depend on the rotation. It's going to depend on probably more small forward, to be honest, but it's also going to depend on, is Jamal Crawford in a lineup where he's playing point guard? If Crawford is in a lineup, and I don't expect him to start, so I'm expecting him off the bench. If he starts, it's going to be starting at the 2, so Devin Booker could start at the 1, which then pushes Josh Jackson to the bench. They start Ariza at the 3, Ayton at the 5, of course, and then Ryan Anderson at the 4. That I would actually be down with. And then you're only playing Crawford for like 15 minutes or so, as a starter. Booker, I doubt, is restricted. Okay, so Terry Rozier, 21.4% for 3. So that's, again, that is Terry Rozier's stats. 21.4% from 3. That's not a chance in hell I'm paying him $20 million. He can neither shoot nor is he a good distributor. He's not a 7, 8, 9, 10 assist guy. Would I pay up... Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of guys that would pay 20 plus million to, but those are guys that are like, they actually are their game, they affect the game in a positive manner, in a strong manner, in an important manner, like in a heavy-handed way. Terry Rozier does not affect the game in a heavy-handed way. Goran Dragic, who was making about $19 million, if I recall correctly, he is overpaid for how he affects the game. Yes, he was an All-Star 2 years ago, but he was also an injury replacement All-Star. Terry Rozier is not that kind of guy. They need to get the Sunburst jersey back. Thank you so much, 2K, for putting it on 2K19. And how much money is that PayPal contract? I don't remember, but it's A, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And B, it's not enough to be able to afford to overpay a guy like Terry Rozier, especially because you've got the salary cap issue if you go over. Rozier averaged 1.5 assists last year. Yeah, I wouldn't pay him more than $10 million. I'm sorry. I just think he's ridiculously overhyped. I wonder when our city jerseys... I know! I was wondering the same thing, Prime. I would love to see those. I'm assuming they're going to be low Suns again, but I just hope they're better than those crayon ones from last year. I really would love it if they brought back the low Suns, the blacks with that back, the light pattern back. Those were sick. Those are my top 5 jerseys in franchise history. Haven't seen who got cut from the team yet. Help a brother out. Okay, so Darrell Arthur and Shaq Harrison have been cut. The expectation is that... Elliot Kobo just tweeted and said, yes, sir, cannot wait 2 days. The expectation is that Davin Reed will be cut tomorrow. They're going to cut him when they sign Jamal Crawford. And I'm sure that's just insurance of just in case something happens to Crawford. Crawford has second thoughts on signing with Phoenix or gets in a really bad car accident. They still have Reed on the roster, so they're not shorthanded come the start of the year. So again, I knocked on wood earlier. God forbid anything like that happens to him. Certainly injury-related, God forbid. But in the meantime, Davin Reed is there just in case. I mean, he's just an insurance policy. I'm sure they've called every team. Everybody knows. Slips on a banana, exactly. He hangs out with the gorilla. The gorilla's, I've heard, a dirty guy and just bananas everywhere. Bananas peels. I think it might be orange because the warm clothes that I found signs. Ooh, that would be cool. I would dig an orange jersey. Suns have... They've never had an all orange. Am I incorrect? Obviously, the Nash era, they had the gray on the sides, and those I thought were absolutely hideous. But have they had An all orange? Somebody remind me. I will never forget. I worked for a sports apparel shop 15 years ago, and they had the old Western font jerseys, for sale. But what was cool? Oh, that's right. Those were hideous too. So they have it on our. That's right. That's right. Gosh, those are ugly. I hope that they do an orange. I hope it looks like this. It's about 15 years ago. My apparel shop I didn't own it, but that I worked for had the Western font Phoenix jerseys, all orange, but the Western font was in purple. Those were sick. Those were absolutely sick. I would love those. I would love if they actually used those. All right, so what is my dream scenario point guard? I said it all summer, and I'll say it again. My dream scenario is Damian Lillard. That is my dream scenario, is the ability to bring Damian Lillard in, play him next to Booker and Ayton. That would be a three-headed monster that would be a force to be reckoned with in the Western Conference. They would be a playoff team. They would be better than Minnesota. They would be better than Denver. They'd be better than Utah. They might even be better today than the Lakers, even with LeBron James. So now, unless Lillard had been here all summer, if the Suns got him midway through the year, the Lakers are obviously going to be a better team. They're going to have a better record because the Suns are probably not going to go on like a 20-game winning streak and kind of make up ground. But I do think that makes the Suns way, way better. They're not going to let him go. That's the dream scenario, is all I'm saying. I'm not saying like it's a going to happen or it's a sure thing on any level. That's just my dream scenario point guard. Would I go for Tyreek next offseason? I wanted him this offseason, so yeah, I'd go for him. But again, it's got to be in a manageable deal. I don't want to hurt the rest of the rebuilding of the roster. Definitely wouldn't do better than Denver. Just got here. You already talk about Crawford? Yes, but I'm willing to keep talking to him. We're 20 minutes in, by the way. Let's go ahead and please heart, please like, please retweet, text everybody you know. We are live every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Arizona time on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. Join us, join in the conversation. And text everybody you know right now and go, yo, we're going till 7 o'clock, but I usually go to double OT. Just going to say. Yes, all orange with gray sides. I thought those were absolutely ugly. But I do love the idea of an orange jersey. I just think it's got to have the purple font. And no gray. Jamal Crawford again. I think Jamal Crawford could be a starting shooting guard if they're starting Booker at the 1. If they're starting Booker at the 1, I'd love to bring Vince Carter back. Go get Pau Gasol. But if they're going to start Booker at the 1, I would say put Crawford at 2 to start, and then late in games, because in that instance, you've got a 38% three-point shooter in Booker. You got a 35% three-point shooter in Crawford. You got a 36% three-point shooter at both the 3 and the 4 in Ariza and Anderson. And then, you don't really need or really want to have Ayton shooting threes. But that's some really good three-point shooting, because right now if you put Josh Jackson anywhere in the starting lineup, the dude's averaging 22% from 3. Same with T.J. Warren. So you lose that shooting. That said, I don't think that he's going to start. I do think he comes off the bench. And if Crawford wears 11, that'd be cool. Crawford and Booker would be crazy on offense, but defense would be rough. Yeah, well, that's why you have DeAndre Ayton back there and Ariza. D'Angelo Russell would be a big signing in the offseason. That would be cool. Crawford almost going to the Spurs just reminded me of LA going to the Spurs. Yeah, but who would you rather have had? LaMarcus Aldridge or Jamal Crawford? The problem, though, is if we got all LaMarcus Aldridge, the Suns probably don't get the first overall pick and therefore don't have DeAndre Ayton. So I will take history to this point as it has unfolded. What up, brother? So that's it. Now, if he is coming off the bench, the opening night is ESPN. Yeah, it's Ariza. They're selling a Threeza. But yeah, no, it is ESPN. But it is Ayton and Doncic, which will be cool. It's going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm excited about that. Excited about the Suns going 1-0 to start the season. But Jamal Crawford, you called it, brother. Jamal Crawford, Harrison was cut. He was cut today. Jamal Crawford coming off the bench, though, yes, with T.J. Warren, it helps having him come off the bench with T.J. Warren because he can shoot threes. But think about this. He can also, if he does play a little bit of point, you got him and you've got Troy Daniels coming off the bench. So you got a lot of three-point shooting in that backcourt. And again, that helps Coco get his 30 three-pointers a game that he talked about. So I would not spend a penny on Kyle Lowry. First age, second money, third, he's basically Eric Bledsoe. He takes the Suns nowhere. Jamal highlights are off the hook, ankle breaker. That's what a lot of people are saying. Crawford number 11, that number's free. Yeah, nobody's wearing 11 that I'm aware of. Do I have numbers here? I don't have numbers in front of me, but I don't believe anybody's wearing 11. Who's the last player to wear 11? Wesley Person? I can't think of another 11, so that would be, it would make sense to me. Oops. Let me see here. Morris. Oh, Knight. That's right. But then Knight went to 3. Markieff Morris went to 11. That's right. So they've had a few 11s. And that's obviously he's worn 1, which is taken, 11, which is open, and then 6, which is retired Walter Davis. That's right. I forgot. I hadn't seen Brandon Knight play in so long. And again, he changed. Did he start at 3? He went to 11, or he started 11 and went to 3? I forget. But I know he wore both numbers. I might even be able to pull it up before you guys can respond. Unless, no, you know, it just wants to... Basketball Reference sometimes just wants to go, like, ridiculously slow. Okay. What's that comment? Wonder if Jackson would change it to his college number. Well, boy, you're going to have to remind me what Jackson wore. Okay, so Brandon Knight started at 3, went to 11. You're going to have to remind me what was Josh Jackson's college number. I do not recall. I don't... he wore 11? Okay, I don't recall. I don't watch a lot of college basketball outside of ASU. I already have Crawford with 11. Okay, so I already have Crawford with 11. All right, cool. Well, that's a fun thing. So who is the best number 11 in Phoenix Suns history? Let me get the list. Get the full list. Phoenix Suns by uniform numbers. Okay, so I have the full list right here. All-time number 11s. 15 players have worn 11 in history, so we expect it to be 16 here. Neil Johnson, remember him? Clem Haskins, Johnny High, Mike Sanders, KJ, of course, when they got him from Cleveland. He wore 11 for that season before he changed to 7. Alex Sturvins, Wesley Person, Jimmy Oliver, Todd Day. I loved when the Suns got Todd Day. I thought that was a huge signing. I'd give it to Markieff Morris. Well, but KJ, even though he only wore for 30 games. And then Wesley Person. But Todd Day, Joe Crispin, Zarko Chabarkapa. How about Pat Burke? D. Brown, I remember, I was stoked the Suns got D. Brown because I will never forget as a kid seeing him in the slam dunk contest. I think it was this way, doing the Karl Malone. Markieff Morris and Brandon Knight. So I got to say KJ is the best number 11 just because he is KJ. But Wesley Person, I think, is probably the second best. Clem Haskins was okay. I obviously don't remember him. Well, I'd rather have Reed. He can play defense and shoot. Pat Burke, KJ. Top 3 for Rookie of the Year. I'm going to go with Ayton, Doncic, and boy, it seems like based on his preseason, I got to go with our boy from Atlanta. How long did KJ even wear 11? I want to say it was 30 games. He played like 30 games with the Suns that year. Let me see. I'll get you right now. 28. He wore it for 28 games. 25 as a starter. He averaged with the number 11, 12.6 points, 8.7 assists, 2.3 turnovers, 1.5 steals. So not bad at all. I would take that from any point guard on the roster. Sabalos is the best number 23. Let me get you that list. That's a fun question. Is Sabalos the best 23? 16 players have worn that so far. So Bob Warlick, Rob Knowles, Art Harris, Paul Stovall, Mike Bratz, Ty Corbin, Tim Legler, Cedric Sabalos, Wayman Tisdale, Paul McPherson, remember him? Booker and Ayton All-Star Weekend? Boy, I hope so. Jay Rich was a great number 23. Enough with the summer 20s. Who's going to the camp tomorrow? In 2 days. 2 days. Casey Jacobson, Sherrod Ford, Jason Richardson, Marcus Thornton. I got to give it a Thornton. John Jenkins and Daniel House. Send that unprotected first to Boston for Rozier. First off, Boston wants more than picks because they want to compete for a championship. And second, which unprotected pick are you talking about? The Suns as unprotected pick? Crawford likes number 11 because that's how many assists he gets a year, not a game. Oh, that is a low blow. How many points for Devin Booker on Wednesday night versus... Great question. I'm going with 30 plus. I'm going to say Devin Booker goes out and scores 30 plus at point. 30 plus and 10 assists. He's going to get a double-double, baby. I remember watching Thornton in the Nets in 2015 when he went 0 for 21 from 3. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to the game in Denver. Nice. You're going to the game in Denver? That's awesome. Marcus Thornton was terrible. He was I'm telling you, he was the best number 23 in franchise history. Boy, do I miss that guy. Oh, I wanted him. His number should be in the Ring of Honor. Yeah, no, okay, I'll make that prediction right now. Devin Booker goes 30 and I'll give the kind of the round number. I'll say he goes 30 and 10. Devin Booker, and it's 10 assists. I'll say 30, 10, and 5 boards. Thanks for Isaiah Thomas for Marcus Thornton and Cleveland first. Yes, thank you, Isaiah Thomas. All right, we are 30 minutes in, so go ahead and please like, please retweet. We're going to go over another half hour and probably some double overtime. I miss Jared Solinger too. Thanks for Isaiah. Oh, okay. DeAndre Ayton. What about Ayton? Oh, okay. I'll go 15 and 10. Again, I'll just do round numbers. 15 and 10 for Ayton. Haven't been this excited about the season for the long. Oh, dude, you and me both, and we're probably not the only two. The legacy of Ryan McDonough lives on. Yeah. No, this is definitely the most excited I've been for a season in a very long time because they've got so much to go for. Ooh, Ayton gets 25 and 10. TJ and JJ for game 1. I will say double digits for TJ and single digits for JJ. Who did Suns cut? Emeka Okafor. They did not cut him, but Shaq Harrison was dropped. I am a little surprised, actually. Devin Reed will be dropped tomorrow. Then, of course, Darrell Arthur was cut. You know what? Okay, so the legacy of Ryan McDonough lives on. I firmly believe that the intention was to trade Darrell Arthur, and I would sincerely take Barkley as general manager. I really, truly would. I would not be afraid of that. Earl Watson and Ryan McDonough in the Ring of Honor next year, legendary. Yeah. Until Seaver, I wish, sells Phoenix, will never win a thing. I know what you were saying. I was just teasing. I can't speak in Russian. But no, I would definitely take Barkley. Why not? I would give it a shot. I mean, because the thing is he can't. Barkley couldn't ruin the team. Like, he truly couldn't. And he certainly couldn't do any worse of a job than Ryan McDonough. I mean, his thing is anti-analytics. I'm okay with that. I believe that Charles Barkley is the best basketball analyst on television and radio. I don't believe there's a better guy. I really don't. I think he's truly got a brilliant basketball mind. But Barkley can't say, who's going to roast Shaq? You know what? He needs to just be able to do both. You know, he just needs to do both. He's going to be watching every game anyway, so he can scout. So just do both. He brings attention. It would be good attention to the team. He would definitely, think about it. Having that kind of guy in the front office, I'm sure would attract players too. I'm sure players would be like, I'd like to play for Barkley. I mean, like, he is still one of the greatest. Oh yeah, the attention. They put billboards. Are you kidding me? Every Phoenix Suns billboard would have Charles Barkley's face next to Devin Booker. To go 0-1, and how will Ayton do? I do think the Suns go 0-1 against Dallas. How will Ayton do against Jordan? Again, I think he goes 15 and 10. And Jordan probably gets a double-double, but he's probably more 10 and 10. So, I mean, the great thing about Ayton, too, is that he can shoot free throws. Ayton's a damn good free throw shooter, so he's going to get points. Who will win the WNBA? I don't even know who's in the playoffs. I'm not going to lie to you. Sarver would never hire an experienced GM because he could not intimidate them. Well, here's the other thing. Barkley also said he would consider the job. Barkley said last week. Oh, Seattle won it. There we go. Barkley said last week on Bickley and Murata that he thought he had the Orlando Magic general manager position last year, and he said he was pissed that he didn't get the job. But he said he would be interested in Phoenix too if Sarver handed over all control. If Sarver said, Barkley, this team is yours, run it how you wish. And he goes, he didn't say I don't think Sarver would do that, but I think that's why he doesn't. He probably never got a call. Otherwise, I think he would have said, yeah, we talked, but we just didn't come to a... Exactly. He doesn't think Sarver would ever do it. So that's the thing, is Sarver wants to be involved, but Barkley said, no, hell no, get the hell out of my way. And how do you blame a guy for that? I mean, you're like, no, I'm the basketball guy. I'm in the Hall of Fame. You're a banker. Might as well sell the team to Barkley than Sarver. Oh, man, that would be fantastic. I wish Sarver would do everybody who's a Suns fan a favor and sell the team. You're not alone. Sarver at point guard. No, I'm okay with him not being point guard. But, okay, so I'm going to ask this question to everybody. Sarver wouldn't give up that much control, but I'm all in for Sir Charles. Let him get in the ring as GM. Totally agree. That was over on YouTube. Do you think Barkley would get hired by any team? Do I think he would? Yes. Do I think he will? Now I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I think, I think, like, I doubt that he would go and be the general manager of, like, Memphis. I think I don't know, maybe Memphis because he's a Southern guy. I think he would want to go for a team that like he'd like the area as well, because we all know that Barkley's part here. He obviously loves Phoenix. I think he would do LA. I think he would do Chicago. I think he would do New York. Maybe he would do Memphis. Obviously, he'd take Orlando. Who wouldn't want to live in Orlando? But I'm sure there are teams out there that if they offered, he'd be like, I'd rather. Like he works in Atlanta, but he doesn't live in Atlanta, even though he's a Southern guy. So I'm like, would he take the Atlanta job? Maybe. I'm not sure. So I'm going to ask the question to everybody that was asked to me. I will give my answer, but I would like to know from everybody here, he might go to Toronto, yeah. I think he talked a lot about how great he left Toronto last year in the All-Star game. But who is your starting lineup for opening night on Wednesday? Who is your Phoenix Suns starting lineup? I don't want Barkley. He's an amazing one. Oh, that's the other thing. Is inside the NBA with Tank. I cannot stand wait. No, why can't I think of Kenny the Jet. I cannot stand Kenny the Jet. I know a lot of people do. I can't. But without Barkley, that would suck. All right, so Book, JJ, Ariza, TJ, Ayton. Booker, TJ, Ariza, Anderson, Ayton. Kenny Smith. They can't stand him. Okay, so here's mine. Booker, Jackson, Ariza, Anderson, Ayton. We're getting a lot of the same. Larry Fitzgerald's the best Arizona player to ever wear 11. Very good call, probably. Booker, Jackson, Ariza, Anderson, Ayton. Okay, we're getting a lot of Cannon, Booker. Ooh, Cannon. Okay, so we've got our first non-Booker point guard. Cannon, Booker, Ariza, Anderson, Ayton. Cannon, Booker, Ariza, Anderson, Ayton. Cannon, Booker, JJ, Ariza, Ayton. No way Anderson is starting. I still just get the feeling he is. I mean, he started all 5 preseason games, though. So, no way Anderson is starting. Kenny takes jokes too seriously sometimes, while Shaq and Chuck laugh all the time. Totally agree. So I do think Booker is the starting point guard. I really do. I do not think they're going to start Isaiah Cannon. Booker, Jackson, TJ, Ariza, Ayton. I would love Ariza to play at power forward, but again, they didn't. My comments have a 10 to 15 second delay. Oh, you're good, Mr. Rich. You're all good. I'll still respond. I would say Booker would be the starting point. I got to mention Ariza as the small forward, and Anderson starts at 4 again because we're looking at 3-point shooting. You put TJ and JJ in the starting lineup, and all of a sudden, that thought of 30 3-pointers in a game is just going to disappear out the window. Booker, Jackson, Ariza, Warren, Ayton. So, again, I do think, and again, YouTube, Ariza, Ayton, Anderson, Booker, JJ. Okay, so that means you've got Ariza at the 4. I want Ariza at the 4, and I do want Josh Jackson to start. The thing, though, is that Ryan Anderson can shoot threes. What do I think about Jackson's development so far? I'm sure his development is fine. He's just got to be able to hit a 3. That's his problem. He just cannot hit a 3. He's got to be able to do that. He's got to be able to hit threes at a 34% clip. I mean, he's got to be able to do that to be a true success in the NBA. I don't think Booker starts game 1. I think they've already announced he is starting. If they want to move him to point guard, I think it'll be a week. Well, he's been practicing. I'm sure he's been practicing at point, but I'm pretty sure they announced he's starting at point. That is starting, so I don't know if it's is Cannon the point. Cannon, Booker, JJ, Anderson, Ayton. Okay, Melton, that would be Melton, Book, Jackson, Ariza, Ayton. That would be, Shams just said Crawford has a chance to be a starting point guard. See, I don't think these guys pay attention to anything. They make comments and they really don't pay attention in depth. Marion didn't shoot great at 3. Jackson can do the same. He didn't shoot great, but boy, did he improve. Let me get him real quick. Especially after his rookie season. I mean, his rookie season shot like 18%, but averaged... he shot 18%, but averaged 0.4 a game. It went up by season 3 to 39. It was 39 season 3, then 4 is 38.7, then 34, then 33, 33, 31. And that's how he ended with Phoenix, is 31%. But still, I mean, that's just... He was shooting 40% from 3 for 2 years. So, play Canada point guard. Again, I think that Devin Booker is the starting point. I think that then means that there's if Shams thinks that Crawford could be a starting point guard, I think that's more likely he's the starting 2 guard. Marion's part of the ownership group for NZ. So if that's the speculation, then I think the real speculation should be Crawford at the starting 2, in which case you've got Booker at the 1, you got Crawford at the 2, and then you can put Ariza at the 3, and then Ryan Anderson at the 4, and then you make TJ Warren and Josh Jackson your first reserves with Troy Daniels, and you can keep some 3-point shooting in there. But I got to think that Booker's starting, and if there's a shot that Crawford is starting, he's at the 2, not the 1. Why book point guard's not long-term there? It's about system, not wins. I wonder why we haven't put Marion in the Ring of Honor yet. I'm going to guess that both Marion and Amari Stoudemire going this year would be my guess. That's pretty solid. So, why Booker at point? Well, for starters, James Jones said that not only would he be confident of Booker playing at the point, but he said that that he thinks science stat, exactly. But he also said that he believed that Booker would, quote, his words, quote, relish the opportunity, which means he'd be into it. He'd be excited for it. He would want that challenge. And that's the other thing. We cannot take for granted Devin Booker's competitiveness, and God love him for it. I mean, I feel like that would be me if I could be on an NBA court. By the way, we are 40 minutes in, so we got 20 minutes left in regulation. Go ahead and please heart, please like, please retweet. Text everybody you know and say, yo, we got another 20 minutes of LA the Suns live. Join in, and I'll throw an extra, OT or 2 your way. He's got the Mamba mentality. He's a hyper-competitive guy. So if somebody says, you can't play point guard, you know what his thought is? To hell I can't. I almost dropped a word there. Again, I'm a very competitive person, and I'm very much in kind of the line of a 10-year-old where you say you don't do that. I'm like, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it, really well. So how is Booker off the dribble? It doesn't matter because it's all about setting the offense, just getting the ball and ball moving. But he's good off the dribble. At this point, I want to see this long-term strategy. Do the Clippers have 15 players yet? If not, Suns. I haven't seen. That's a good question. In terms of what they're doing with Patrick Beverley, but again, then what are you trading? I mean, it's like, so now you've cut your guys. What are you trading? Say Charlotte has an early fallout this season, blow up the team, go after Walker. No, again, I wouldn't. He is Eric Bledsoe. I look at Eric Bledsoe the same way as I look at Walker, the same way as I look at Toronto. They are all, we can score, but we don't really facilitate, and therefore I don't want you. And they're all way overpaid. Those kind of, I don't want a point guard. I want a point guard that can score. But I don't want a point guard where that is their first instinct is to score, because especially when you got a team with Devin Booker on it, I want Devin Booker to score because he is a better scorer than any of those point guards. Damian Lillard averages, 27 points a game, averages more assists than those 3 point guards that I just mentioned. So that's a guy that I, again, I want that kind of player. Does Reed get cut? Yeah, he gets cut tomorrow when they sign Jamal Crawford. What is Damian Lillard's, his contract? I want to say it's about 30. Ricky Rubio. I'd be okay with him, but again, he's a short-term answer, especially now with his age. He's now early 30s. I mean, he's not going to be around for very long. I wish the Suns could get Nash's guts and J.R. Barrett in the draft, but that's unlikely. Well, they're not going to make the playoffs, most likely, so there's a good chance. I mean, what I'm hoping for, and I wrote about this about 2 months ago now, I think, is I want the 92-93, I want the 2018-19 Phoenix Suns to be like the 92-93 Orlando Magic. I want to see significant improvement. If I recall correctly, the 91-92 Orlando Magic won 21 games. Then they draft Shaq, and they went 41 and missed the playoffs as the 9th seed. They then win the lottery. I want that for the Suns. I'm not going to say they're going to win the lottery, but I want that kind of a jump. I want to see them get close to 40 games. I want them to, I don't want them to miss the playoffs, but if they're going to, I want them to get close, and I want that lottery luck. Go get us J.R. Barrett. Go get us Zion. Go get us whoever is the great stud. The young guns, Scott Anderson, Shaq, and don't forget about Penny. That was the thing, is that, so then they go 41-41, they finish the 9th seed in the East, and then they drafted Chris Webber and then sold him to Golden State for Penny. And then in 93-94, 51 wins, if I recall, and in the playoffs, they get swept. Boy, I'm having to draw back my early 90s Orlando Magic history, but if I recall correctly, they get swept by Indiana in the first round, or maybe it was the semis. Maybe they got through the first round and got swept in the semis. And it was the following season with Horace Grant, they make it to the finals. And they get swept by Houston, but should have been swept by the Suns. But what do you know? I hate being pessimistic, but we're a 25-31 team. I don't actually believe they're 25-31. So I think they're going to feast on the Eastern Conference. I think there are a bunch of teams in the Western Conference that are overrated that they're going to have a chance to beat. And so I do think they're over 30 wins, and my number is probably 35 and 47. But hey, that would be a 14-game improvement. And the thing is if you're going 35, if I feel confident the Suns can win 35 games this year, well, like Denver, overrated. Utah is beatable. The Lakers will still be beatable. And if LeBron happens to get hurt or takes one game off against the Suns, then they're truly beatable. Suns are going to be able to beat the Magic. They're going to Minnesota. They beat twice last year with Jimmy Butler. They're not going to be even more beatable. So there's definitely some beatable teams. Say the Suns won that series. Do we best the Magic? Oh yeah, the Suns sweep the Magic for sure. Oh, I'm not saying 47. No, I'm saying 35 wins and 47 losses. I'm not saying 47 wins. I'm saying Utah's beatable. You know, so let's hold on. Let me pull something up. Give me a second. All right. Oh, why does this? Hold on. I'm saying they're beatable. So if they win like one game, I think best versus 30 wins. Well, I mean, again, you've got Devin Booker improving. You've now got DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton is an Devin Booker in 2018-19 is going to be an improvement over Devin Booker 2017-18. Whoever they have playing at point guard, regardless of whether it's Booker or anybody else, it's going to be an improvement over whoever they had playing point guard last year. So you've got an improvement there. They've got an improvement in at small forward well, they don't have an improvement at small forward necessarily with Trevor Ariza, but his outside shooting is going to be much improved over T.J. Warren's. They've got an improvement at power forward. I don't care how bad Ryan Anderson is at defense. They are improved at power forward over Marquise Chris and Dragon Bender. They're improved by not having Marquise Chris. They're improved by having DeAndre Ayton at center and not Tyson Chandler. They're improved by having Tyson Chandler come off the bench. They're improved by having the depth of Troy Daniels, continue to have Troy Daniels, but now have Jamal Crawford coming off the bench. They're improved all across. They're improved by having a better offense. They're improved by having better defense. They've got better defensive players in DeAndre Ayton, in Trevor Ariza. So they're taking their roster top to bottom is improved. Again, I'm not saying 47 wins. 47, that's not even a pipe dream. That's a miracle. But think of this. Last year, they won 21 games. One of those was against Utah. And granted, it was early in the season. It was October 25th. So that might have been, what was their second game? I forget. Anderson can guard Dirk Nowitzki because Dirk Nowitzki can't even move. I love him to death. I mean, Dirk is one of my all-time favorite players. He can't move anymore. Teodosic should be great for Ayton. He could be, and that's the thing. They make one more improvement on point guard. This team has improved all across the year. Improved by having a coach that doesn't focus on yoga. Exactly. 48 wins like the Gerald. They're not going to win 48. The West is too difficult for that. But again, 35 would be a 14-game improvement over last year. And here's the other thing, too. The Phoenix Suns went on a 21-game. Tobias Harris, okay, but I mean, I'm paying him $15 million at the absolute maximum. But then that's the other thing. The Phoenix Suns last year tanked. They were not a 21-win game team. And that's the other thing that we have to remember. The last 3 years, the Suns didn't, their head coaches, that is, did not play all of their best players for 82 games. Take injuries out of it, of course. But all 3 seasons, Jeff Hornacek, Earl Watson, so Jeff Hornacek for part of it, Earl Watson and Jay Triano, all benched guys or had guys benched for them. Veteran players. I'm thinking about Tyson Chandler. Devin Booker last year. Devin Booker was Eric Bledsoe. I mean, these guys are ticked off that they were benched. And so they were not playing with a full deck. So the Phoenix Suns teams were not 24, 23, and 21 win teams. They were probably high 20s. They probably might not have even been 30, but they were probably high 20s winning teams. So now this year, you have an improved team across the board, top to bottom, starting to reserves, head coach to, everything, to general management now, apparently, hopefully. And they are not expecting to tank at any point. If they do tank, then I eat crow. I don't, but then this whole thing gets thrown out the window. But if they play with a full deck for 82 games, they're going to win more than 21, 25. They're going to win more than 30 because this team is not a truly 21-win team because, they were playing Jones as a starter for a while last year. Did Miami even keep him? worried that Booker might be rushing. I think he might be, but remember the surgery recovery time was 4 to 6 weeks, and he's back in 5. He might be rushing a little bit, but also it depends on what I'm not a physician, so I couldn't tell you. My instinct would be that if they really thought, Book, take a week off, you're gonna take, if they had said you're not cleared, he wouldn't be playing. He's playing because he was cleared. There's no way, if they said you need another week to just make sure that there's no long-term potential damage, added to the injury by you come back too soon, he would not be playing. So I'm not honestly worried about it. I was a little surprised because I was expecting him to err on the side of caution and take an extra week or two. But at the same time, I'm really not surprised because he's young and his body's healing. So, and if there is no risk, if they're like, hey, you could stub your finger like I'm sure we all have playing basketball, then, and it's not going to kill you, it's not going to hurt your finger and cause long-term damage, then that's why he's out there. So I'm sure he's fine. I really believe that. But I also felt he was fine the whole time. There were some really over the top Armageddon kind of thoughts of, oh my gosh, his career. And I wrote a post where I said, he's good. There's no way that they would have signed him to that max contract if they really thought there was a chance that injury was going to cause long-term damage. And I had a local, media wannabe or retweet my story and said, this is pure speculation. Well, you're damn right it's pure speculation. I'm not a doctor, but I'm also not an idiot. Robert Sarver is not going to allocate $152 million to a guy who a doctor might have said, yeah, but that finger might end his career, might shorten his career. That might cause him to play, at 80%, 70%, 50% of the rest of his career. There's no way they say, Book, we're going to take a year. We'll give you $150 million next offseason if you're healthy. So I am 100% not worried at all. Would I be shocked if at some point he takes a couple days off? Sure, but I'm not shocked that he is back, and I'm totally confident or comfortable in believing that he is totally healthy. But again, just going back to who the Suns can beat, how can they get to 35 wins? Utah. They went 1-4 last year. 1-3. They won 1 out of 4. But 3 of those 4 games, the one game they won was October, and they were still playing with the full deck, minus Bledsoe. Minus Bledsoe at that point. But then their 3 losses, which were all blowouts, were 2 in February, 1 in March. By that point, they'd already tanked. They were in the tank for tanking. So the Utah Jazz are beatable. Now, they did last year. They did 1 year ago, and they won by 9. So I'm not saying they're going to sweep them. But if you win 1, if you're able to split, go 2-2, all you have to do is just score 1 more point than them. What would I say is my most ideal realistic team for 2019-2020? If you watch my show, Joe, this is a bit. Just so you know, it's a bit. I started this over a year ago. They can beat Utah. Again, all they needed was win 1, and they've matched last year. So the bit, though, by the way, was when the Suns released their new jerseys. I thought they were awesome. I still love them. I love this jersey set. And so I wore glasses because I said they were on fire, they were hot. And then I just kept wearing them. So I try to rotate glasses, but most of them have broken. I used to have 12 of them, now I'm down to 2. So that's the bit. And there's no blurry eyes back here. They're just the same color. They're the same color blue. I should not have done that because now somebody's going to say something and, I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's a cat fight. I don't know. I hate cats. There's a cat fight going on back there. 8 needs to get angry, be Shaq rookie or break backboards. But I totally agree. He can't break the backboards anymore. But yeah, I'd love him to play angry. Who else can the Suns beat? Let me pull something up real quick. Book tweeted. I saw that. I was wondering what that was for. They can beat Oklahoma City. They did last year too. If I recall correctly, somebody might have to correct me, but I believe they did. Okay, so Memphis, even healthy, is beatable a couple times. Dallas is going to be beatable. Sacramento, of course, is beatable. I still believe the Lakers are going to be beatable. The Clippers are absolutely going to be beatable. Denver is beatable. Timberwolves are beatable. The Suns beat them twice last year. The Spurs are beatable. The Pelicans are beatable. The Utah Jazz are beatable. Oklahoma City is beatable. Portland, I would expect to be beatable, but again, they crushed the Suns twice in preseason, so who knows. That might have been, but he never said in particular. I had the Crawford signing and Corning, or coming back in one. That could have been that. San Antonio without a point guard. I think San Antonio might miss the playoffs this year. We lost the Magic last year too at least once. Did we lose the Magic? Well, we only played them twice. I thought we swept them. Let's see. Oh, this will be faster. I thought the Suns swept them. But I'll have it in a moment. Okay, see, so I mean, all those teams are beatable. Celtics are probably not beatable by the Suns, unfortunately. I would say that, you know, teams that are... We lost both? Wait, I thought we won... Oh! Okay. Won, lost. Okay, maybe honestly, I might be thinking of 2 years ago. I found one of them. I thought one of them was at Thanksgiving. Then I swear to you, I might have been thinking of 2 years ago. Because I see the home loss November 10th. I'm not seeing the other one. Oh, there it is. March 24th. Okay, lost by 6. But again, at that point, the November 6th, they were in full tank mode. Or November 6th loss was their 11th in a row out of 15. You know, and they had, you know, that was when they went on that huge streak of, let's see, 5, 15, 30. They went 2-30. Preseason hype and hope has got to. In what way? Come on. Tell me that those teams are not beatable. And then the Eastern Conference, obviously Orlando is beatable. They only won 25 games last year. Atlanta's beatable. Chicago's beatable. Brooklyn's beatable. New York is beatable. Charlotte is beatable. Detroit is beatable. The Wizards are beatable. Bucks. I'm just saying 35 wins is not out of the realm of possibility. Which team in the West are worse than the Suns besides the Kings? I don't know if the Suns are the worst team. I really don't. If we keep Davin Reed, do you think he could be a good 3-and-D bench piece moving forward? They're not keeping Davin Reed because they're signing Jamal Crawford. He'll be cut. Should Suns trade for those cats? Boy, I'll tell you, they've got fight. That was loud. So in your opinion, the Suns are going undefeated? No, because Houston, Golden State, Toronto, and Boston, and Philly are all going to sweep them. So that means 67-15? No, 35-47. 35-47 is not out of the realm of possibility. I'm going to stand by. They aren't. Last year they were not a 21-win team. They tanked to get the first overall pick. If they played all their cards, and again, 41-41 might be a little pie in the sky, but hey, 35 wins, it's only 6 games behind, so who knows? They tanked for the last 3 years. They intentionally lost games. What was that game against, wasn't it Charlotte last year? Was that Charlotte? I could have to pull up the roster. Didn't they not play Booker, Warren, Jackson? Yes, they did not play Devin Booker. They did not play Warren. They did not play Jackson. They started, listen to the starting lineup. I mean, this is just stupid. First off, 3 guards. Elfrid Payton, Shaq Harrison, and Troy Daniels were all starting. And then Tyson Chandler started at center, and Dragan Bender was the starting 4. I mean, that's not an NBA team. What do I think of Alonzo Trier? He's a wild rat. I don't want him. Since we signed Crawford, we'll go 1-18. No way. 8 defense player of the year? No, but rookie of the year, yeah. Unless we trade for a mid-range point guard, we aren't getting more than above 30 wins. Devin Booker is a mid-range point guard. Devin Booker can be a 20-win, 8-dime guy in an offense predicated on passing and shooting. Is a championship realistic in 5 years? Yes, within 5 years, a championship should be realistic. Is I'm not going to say, but it should be realistic because we should expect by that point Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton are tearing up the league in the peaks of their primes. You're expecting Josh Jackson to be better. Does anyone else think Elfrid Payton is better than Every? No way. He is not better. Well, again, he's not better than Devin Booker. Have I seen Doncic play? Yeah, he looks really good. He looks fun. I still would take DeAndre Ayton over him. But, yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see them both in regular season play, especially opening night. I want to see them both go off. Remember, Alex Len, Marquise Chris, Tyler Ulis, Davin Reed, Jared Dudley played 28-37 against Charlotte. They were intentionally losing games. Which have gone for Rondo? I don't know. He would have helped, sure, in depth. Suns team got to protect Booker on the court, space for him to get his shot. He'll get space. Booker is not a point guard. Neither is James Harden. Dude averaged 11 assists 2 years ago. I still don't think Booker brings up the rock. I don't know why can't he? Why can't Devin Booker to just steal your pylons, bring up the rock. All he's got to do is get the ball above half court and pass it. I just don't see why that is something that Devin Booker, who is the most competitive player on this team, and according to his general manager, said he would relish the opportunity. Why can't Devin Booker do that and be damn good at it? Cannon is fine, but he's not Devin Booker, you know. And so, let me pull up Cannon's stats real quick. I want to look at like per 36s. Again, I'm looking at assists. We have been spoiled. Booker should get more dribbling moves from Jamal. That'd be cool. The idea of Booker playing at the point guard is disgusting. Why is it disgusting? I can't tell you. Hold on. Cannon per 36 for 19 games with the Suns last year, averaged 6.5 assists. Other than that, per 36, 3.1, 3.8, 2.5, 2.3. Booker able to get another 70 piece in his career? Yeah, I'm sure he's able to. Booker will bring turnovers? Okay. I mean, yeah, so what? So he turns the ball over 4 or 5 times. You know, I mean, but if he's scoring 30 points, if he's shooting at a 38% clip, Boomer's crossover is too slow for point guard. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you guys what. I hope Devin Booker is the starting point guard to the Warriors 3-peat without a doubt. We don't even have to play 2018-19. He's scoring 30 at shooting guard. Well, let's see. Booker is our best passing guard. Lots of dunks for Ayton because he draws so much attention. That's the other thing. Double teams. In small spurt he played. Oh yeah, in small spurt he played a point guard. He was good. Let me pull up last year. He played point for about 20 or 30 games, if I recall correctly. Game logs for 2017-18. What do I think is the best international free agent available? Oh, that's a question I can't answer. I'd have to do some research. It's a good question to research, but 10 assists against Houston. 10 assists, again, he had 10 assists against Houston twice. Okay, so I had 2 10 assist games last year. I thought he had a couple. Excuse me, I thought he had more than that. 2016-17, real quick. Who's going to play at the 2 in a tanking season? He being Booker. Well, yeah, but in a tanking season, it just evidence, though, that he can do it. Okay, so I know it was his rookie year that he played a lot of point in the second half of the year after Bledsoe and Knight went down. And then we just see. Okay, so 10 assists again. How was that against Golden State? We're talking rookie year. And 11 assists against Golden State again. Okay, so against those up-tempo teams, he was able to reach 10 assists. He's done it 4 times now. I'm telling you, I want you guys to tell Devin Booker he can't play point guard. I want you to tell him, because then Devin Booker is going to go out there and he's going to be a damn good point guard. And again, we got to think of things in a non-traditional sense. Actually, no, I've been playing my player where I'm a point guard because I always create myself to be a point guard. You also have to think of Booker playing point guard in a non-traditional sense. He does not have to be Isaiah Thomas of the Detroit Pistons mold. He has to be a point guard in a modern mold where it's not. But he's not a point guard by position. He's point guard just because he's holding the ball. But I still want to see whoever's at the 2 to get a lot of passes. I want to see, Trevor Ariza get a lot of passes. I'll tell him he's a shooting guard. Good. Tweet it at him. Seriously. Not seriously. I am being a little dramatic here, but I don't know why people think it's a big deal. You want your best players out there. You do. You want your best player out there. You want the best player to have the ball and the ball in their hands as much as possible. James Harden, Steph Curry. Don't tell me that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, they would bring the ball up. They had the ball in their hands as often as possible. I know that Jordan had B.J. Armstrong, who was a good traditional point guard, but we also talking almost 30 years ago, 30 years ago now, 25 to 30. So, it was a different league. But even by the second half of his career, by the second 3-peat, Ron Harper was not playing a traditional point guard. In a winning Suns team in the future, he is our starting shooting guard. If you have Damian Lillard as your point guard, Kemba Walker is not winning a championship. Basketball is becoming positionless. Now think about this. Basketball is becoming positionless, which is why so many people are so high on Luka Doncic. The dude, from all intents and purposes, is a power forward. You know, Ben Simmons is 6'7", 6'8", right? If somebody would have to remind me, I might be able to get it pretty quickly. You know, so it's these guys. A point guard does not have to be 6'1", and let me use the Phoenix as an example. Eric Bledsoe is a quote unquote traditional point guard. He is never getting into the first round of the playoffs as a traditional starting point guard. He is not good enough. High assist numbers is a talent, but it's also a team who can shoot and hit shots when the ball is passed to them. You know, so Coco wants to shoot 33s a game, but the Suns are averaging 34, 35, 36% from three, which might be ridiculously high, but let's say the starting rotation is shooting 34 to 36% from three, which would be possible with Booker, depending on who's the two, but Ariza and Ryan Anderson. All somebody has to do is double Booker, and boom, he just passed the guy to the open guy. Dennis Johnson was not a traditional point guard either, but he rocked for both us and the Celtics. You're entirely correct, but also, I mean, I don't want to say apples and oranges necessarily, but that's still 40 years ago. The modern game, though, is different. 10 times a game isn't a breeze. No, it's not, and yet James Harden averaged 11. You know, I mean, it's just give him the ball. And, Ben Simmons is 6'10". He's 6'10", and averaged 8.2 assists last year. I mean, it's just things are different than they were. And I see no reason why Devin Booker can't, who is guarding Dennis Smith Jr. on game one, Booker or Josh Jackson? Well, it depends on who's in the starting lineup. If Josh Jackson's in the starting lineup, I would assume it's Jackson. Longest winning streak for the Suns this season. Can they rattle off 7 or 8 in a row? I'm going to guess 5. I'll say 5. I think 7 or 8 might be too high. If the Suns have a 7 or 8 game winning streak, not only are they winning 35 for sure, but they're potentially pushing 40. Suns are so close to being a super team, brother. So close. Anyway, if the Suns had a 7 or 8 game winning streak, that would be freaking spectacular. I just don't see why Devin Booker can't do it. I just don't see why. I don't know why he can't. And I think not only he can, I think he's going to have to out of necessity. I think he's going to succeed. Does that mean he's the point guard for the rest of his career? No, I'm not saying that at all. But for right now, there's nobody better. I would rather Devin Booker walking the ball up court than Isaiah Cannon. I'd rather Devin Booker making that first decision than Isaiah Cannon. And it's nothing against Isaiah Cannon. It's Devin Booker is better. By the way, we are in double overtime. We got 3 minutes left. I'm going to hold us to it because I am starving. I have not had dinner. So, let's rapid fire for the next 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Anything you got? Any opinions? Questions? Anthony Hardaway style of play, Booker. Very likely. That would be my hope. Whatever Igor did for Doncic, Dragic, and Mitchell as a playmaker, he'll repeat with Booker. But I hope so. He also gets credit for Steve Nash in many ways. What about Okobo? I think Okobo's a good third string point guard. Thoughts on JJ's progression from January last season to preseason and Summer League this year? I don't think he really progressed in Summer League or preseason, but he also didn't get to play with Booker either, and I think that is a big deal. I think he tried to do too much in Summer League, and the Suns were missing their star component, and he's trying to be one. He's just not there yet. The progression needs to come. He needs to be able to hit some threes. He just has to hit some threes. Do I think Jamal Crawford will have a negative or positive impact? It will be a positive impact because he has both depth and a three-point shooter. How is Anderson's rebounding? It'll be good enough, I think. Especially, I want to see. I want to see DeAndre Ayton just going for absolutely every rebound he can. I do think he's going to be a beast on the boards. Anderson averaged 5 boards last year. If he could average 5 again this year, I think it would be fantastic, although that's a little inflated because it was Houston. Would I trade Warren and Mikal Bridges for Rozier? No, I would not. I said this in the very beginning. I don't want Terry Rozier. I just think he's overrated because he's on Boston. Does Dragic come back to the Suns? No, I don't think so. At least not during this regular season. Maybe next season because he's in the final year of his contract, or if he opts out of his player's contract, which I don't think he will, then maybe. But no, otherwise I don't. He's too expensive he's just too expensive. Anderson did well with offensive tip-ins in the preseason, I thought. I think Anderson played fine. He's not a starting power forward, but he is what he is, and he is here to do what he does, and that's shoot threes. He averaged 38% from 3 last year and 40% the year before. If he can do that again this year, I want him on the court because that's what Igor Kokoskov wants. He wants 40%. He wants to shoot 33s a game. He's got to have to make the team, at least the starting rotation has got to have to make 34 to 36% of them. So I think that's why McAdee got fired, because Suns want, well, but it takes two to tango, and so Miami's got to also want what the Suns are offering, and maybe the Suns don't have anything Miami wants, or maybe what Miami wants the Suns don't want to move. Booker or bring out the best name, I totally agree. Do you think that's why McAdee got fired? Oh, that's the bots. The other thing, too, is again, I don't know if the when you say that the Suns want him, not McDonough, that would mean did Robert Sarver want him? And I also wonder, was everything really all good between Dragic and Sarver? Sarver, even though Dragic might have said things were better, I talked to McDonough, whatever. Sarver might be upset still in his heart. Go after George Hill. I thought they were going to this offseason, but I didn't seem to. But again, now you're talking about an old guy that's just a filler. It's just they've, in my opinion, and that's all this is. You got to run with Booker until you find that true point guard replacement. Prior is bringing back the Sunburst jerseys. I love those, but I also love their current threads. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been. We just finished up double overtime. We're in triple, and I got to go eat, so I can't do anymore. Dragic did run Coach K's system, and I think he'd be a great addition to the team. I really do. I think he would help the Suns win, but again, it's about money. It hampers them. His contract hampers them next offseason, which they're going to have a bunch of money. I'm a 12 in my excitement out of a 10 scale, which prevents them from making additional moves in free agency and trade in the offseason. So it's just, he'll be making like 19 million, 18 million next year, and it's just way, way, way too much for a end of a career point guard, when they've really got to be allocating that money on a big name. Who do I think the Suns' next point guard will be? I think it's Devin Booker. Who will be after him, I'm not sure. Will you be on Wednesday? That is a good... You know what? I just might. I will tweet it out. I just might. It'll depend on... Honestly, it depends on the babysitter. I have a regular babysitter. I'm a single dad. I have a regular babysitter for Monday nights. I'm not 100% positive for Wednesdays. Those are a little... Because it's not a regular thing. Is JJ for most improved? Boy, do I hope so, but he's got to hit some threes. Thank you for your thoughts. Thank you, everybody. I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Go Suns. I will be back 1 week from today for sure. I might at least be able to throw in a half an hour for you guys on Wednesday. I would love to do that before we open up the regular season. If I don't, I'm definitely live tweeting the game. So you'll be able to talk to me directly through Twitter during the game as I give you guys all my thoughts and any cool stats I can find. So that said, I gotta run, I gotta eat, I am starving. Sharing with you what's going on. Peace. Let's go Suns. See y'all in a week. I do this for you. I do this for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me here. I do this for you. I love you all. Thank you very much. Peace and go Suns.